Buy now, pay later (BNPL) services have become popular among Malaysian Gen Z consumers, which offer instant purchasing power with the tap of a screen. For example, platforms like TikTok Pay Later, Shopee Pay Later, and Atome. Unfortunately, the payment that was made are going to grow their credit crisis. Nowadays, many young Malaysians use it, using credit transactions as a form of payments with lack of financial education and without knowing. This obligation quietly erode their debt service ratio (DSR) and long-term credit worthiness. In addition, buy now pay later (BNPL) are not like traditional loans. It is because buy now pay later (BNPL) are more likely to be invisible debt nature, because multiple payments across multiple applications make it easy for people to lose track of their expenses. Thus, this has led to a rise in missed payment, penalty fees, and the worst case is blacklisting in credit tip-off services (CTOS). Chapter 4 discusses consumer credit principles, which highlighting that credit should support financial health and not undermine it. However, there is still many young generation, Gen Z, facing late compound. Therefore, Agency Counseling and Pengurusan Kredit (AKPK) has flagged buy now pay later (BNPL) as a growing debt trap. Thus, the Malaysian government has also taken an action under the Consumer Credit Act 2025 to require providers to report to SAKIUS, which is Central Credit Reference Information System, and conduct affordability check.
Now, let's dive more through this issue. AKPK found that BNPL start to become a trend, and some people still do not realize that BNPL is an actual debt, and every installment would be counted as your total monthly debt. Usually this is done by teenagers since they don't have any monthly salary and only rely on their parents. If people use this responsibly, like putting their debt service ratio (DSR) below 40% of their net monthly income, it actually can be a useful financial tools that support better cash flow management and budgeting. While some people still do not realize that it is dangerous to stack up multiple small BNPL payments, it will slightly increase your total monthly debt and push your DSR into the red zone and cause severe financial distress. Before using BNPL, add each monthly installment to your existing debt. If the new total exceeds 40% of your net income, reject the purchase to protect your financial health. If this technique is practiced by many people, it will help them to avoid financial distress, and even a teenager can use BNPL without affecting their future.
As for my part, I will explain about how to use BNPL and DSR calculator. Step 1. Enter monthly income. User has to enter their monthly take-home income. In this example, we use 1,700 as our basic amount to calculate our DSR. Step 2. Enter monthly debt. User has to enter their monthly commitments. In this example, we use 700, which include loan repayments, basic, credit card payments, and any other higher purchase commitments. Step 3. View current SR. After entering the information, the system automatically calculates the debt service ratio. In this example, the DSR is 41.2%, which fall under the moderate category. This helps users understand their current financial position before making another purchase. Step 4. Add a purchase. The user can then simulate a new purchase. They enter the purchase price, choose whether it is a needs or a want, select the payment method such as cash or BNPL, and enter the installment period together with the interest or service fee. Step 5. View purchase impact. For this example, the purchase is classified as a need. The system calculates the monthly installment, updates the DSR to 53.5%, and provides a recommendation. Although the DSR increases, the system indicates that the BNPL option is still manageable, but the user should proceed carefully. It is also shows the remaining disposable income after the purchase. So here are the second example. In this second example, the purchase is classified as a want. Since this purchase increases the DSR beyond the recommended level, the system displays a warning and advises the user not to proceed. This encourages responsible spending and helps prevent unnecessary debt. Another example, in this example, the user selects cash as the payment method. Since there is no loan or installment, the DSR remains unchanged. The system recommends saving for 2 months before making the purchase. This helps users avoid additional debt and manage their finance more responsibly. Overall, our calculator helps users understand their debt service ratio, evaluate the impact of BNPL purchases, and make smarter financial decisions. By showing whether a purchase is a needs or a want and providing a clear recommendation, it encourages responsible spending and reduces the risk of excessive debt. That's all from me. Thank you.
So for my part, I will discuss about benefit of the Smart Purchase Calculator. The Smart Purchase Calculator helps users to decide if they can afford to buy an item. It compares their monthly income, expenses, and the item price before making a purchase. This helps users to spend wisely, avoid overspending and debt, and manage their money better. It also helps users to understand how much money they have left after paying their expenses and encourage them to focus on their needs before their wants. Overall, it supports the better financial planning and smarter spending.
Okay, for next in my part I will present about how the value-based education VBE can protect user from high interest debt. For the first is reveal the real cost of avoiding high interest debt, which is displaying interest rates, hiding charge and total payment. This is intended to ensure that user understand the true burden and are not fooled by seeming cheap offer. Next is check and warn about the debt risk, such as calculating debt service ratio (DSR) immediately. This can help in warning if new debt makes the DSR too high or risky, so as not to violate self-sufficiency. That is not encouraging access, such as adhering to the PLO8 ethics, which is providing advice that protects and not to exploit. No loan promotion or encouragement to increase commitments. 4 is protect your credit records and financial future, such as explaining the impact of decision on secrets and CITOS records, as well as reducing the risk of arrears and bankruptcy, especially among new graduates. Finally is in line with the principle of social responsibility and VBE. This tool is fair, transparent, free, and easy to understand. Prioritize the welfare of Gen Z alone, not just seeking profit, as directed by Bank Negara Malaysia.
On PLO8 reflection, this project helped our team to develop important skills in teamwork, continuous learning, and conflict resolution. Our team worked together by sharing ideas and responsibilities to create the solution to help Gen Z avoid falling into debt traps. Through this project, we improved our understanding of credit management, CCRIS, CTOS, and responsible borrowing practice. There were some differences opinions during the discussion process, but we resolved them through open communication and mutual respect. Overall, this experience strengthened our collaboration skills and increased our awareness of the important financial literacy in protecting Gen Z from debt trap problems.
So, in conclusion, buy now, pay later (BNPL) has become concern, especially among young people. Many people spend without thinking because they use credit follow trends or experience FOMO, fear of missing out. They also do not check if they can really afford the purchase. That is why parents should guide their children and teach them about managing money wisely. Our smart purchasing calculator can help solve this problem. It is because user can check their income, expenses, and debt before buying something. This allows them to know if they can afford the purchase. As a result, people will think carefully before spending, buy based on their needs instead of wants, and manage their money better. Thank you.